Tonight's encounter comes to you from long ago. We're pulling this one out of the vault. I had 3 little kids. We went camping with my brother and his wife, 30 miles outside Boise, way on top of the hills. I mean clear up to the top ridges of the hills on a logging road. We made a lot of noise all night. The kids had fun. Me and the kids were in one tent, and my brother and his wife were in another tent, a little bit away from us. Here is our story. When we got up the next morning, the kids are out of the tent first. They were as happy as you could get. I was putting my sandals on, so I was last out of the tent. There was a little stream there. I was going to see if we could catch some brook trout. Well, we forgot the worms, so I told the kids to look around and see if you can find a couple bugs. So they were all looking around. They brought me a frog. We couldn't use the frog. I could not do that to a little frog, so I told them to let it go. Then they hunted for more bugs. I was just standing there for a minute. The corner of my eye caught a movement, just a little movement. I looked up because next to this little stream of water that I was at, a hill went straight up. Not far because we were at the top, but it had to have been maybe 25 feet, maybe 30 feet. Not far. I looked up and I saw it. I was in complete shock. It was standing at the top of the path. It was everything they say it is on TV and more. It was so muscular. It had the physique of a muscle builder, but I think it might have been a teenager. I couldn't tell if it was a man or woman. It was barely daybreak and the sun hadn't come up yet. It was standing at the top of the path, like my vision of it stopped it right there. We looked at each other for at least 5 minutes or more. It was that close. This is what I can tell you about it. I still couldn't see the eyes because it had wavy hair that covered most of the front of the face. Thick, wavy hair. He was a blackish-brown color, muscles and all. I want to tell you this story because he tried to talk to me. Not with words, but with his hands. He, and I'm calling it he, because I don't know which it was, but he had huge legs, very muscular. He was hovering from side to side as he stood there. The sun just barely cracked out of where it was, and I saw the back of the palms of his hands on both hands were very shiny and very thick. He had huge claws, black claws. He was watching me and my children. He stopped hovering for a minute. He turned his arm, palms to me, and lifted one ever so slightly up. He wanted something. I don't know what he wanted. I stopped to think about it, and it's highly possible I caught him before he went down the path to grab one of my kids. It's very highly possible. When that crossed my mind, I told all 3 of my kids. I said, "Look, run to your uncle's tent. You tell Uncle Bob one word, Bigfoot." They did that, and you know what? My brother came running. I just wanted my brother to see him, that's all. I'm sure it would have went away. Well, I'm not sure, but my brother came running up with a .22 rifle, and before I could tell him no, he took a couple shots at the Bigfoot. That's all, just a couple shots. I know he didn't hurt it, but the noise, I think, made the Bigfoot do what he did, and it seemed like he floated, but all in one step, and he turned and he made a step behind this big boulder. He stayed there, peeking at us. He did not leave. Well, there's more to it, because as he was turning, I could see that he had been hurt from his elbow clear to his wrist. But it wasn't normal skin. It was approximately 3 to 4 inches wide, but it wasn't the color of skin. It was white, and white as could be. It was neon white. I mean, I had never seen skin in that color. Maybe that's what he wanted help with. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't want to think that he wanted to take one of my kids. I hate to think that way. But if it was a teenager, maybe. By the way, it was about 8 feet tall. I didn't see any boobies on it, and you couldn't tell if it was man or not because it had long hair, about 7 or 8 inches long. I know it was about that long because at least the hair on one of its arms, as he turned, swayed. It swayed in the wind. It was a magnificent creature. I wished I could have seen his face instead of just hair. His palms were shiny. When the sun finally popped out, they shined. He was magnificent. Anyway, we figured that if it was a teen, its mom and dad might not be far from it. So we packed up. We just threw everything into the 2 vehicles as quick as we could and left. I looked back, but I didn't see anything following us on the logging road. To this day, I still remember such detail of that magnificent creature. I'll never forget it, and I'm happy now that I'm able to talk about it and not be laughed at and ridiculed. It was very smart. I could tell. It wanted to tell me something, and not through my mind, but through hand gestures. It's really amazing that its skin was so neon white underneath the fur where it got hurt. Thank you for listening and reading this.